Ahora invitamos a Mahamudo
called Mahamudo Mahurane.
Boa tarde a todos e a todas.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I would like to express my thanks for this opportunity on the part of Mozambique in order to be able to share these issues with you, issues which are very important for everybody. Now I'd like to present the experience of Nampula and how we have addressed these issues. Internal trafficking of people and the impact of climate change. This is an overview of our city with 600,000 inhabitants. We have 18 neighborhoods and 6 administrative offices. Internal trafficking of people with smuggling of people and illegal recruitment, transport, and intake of people with threats and kidnapping, exploitation of prostitution or other forms of sexual exploitation. The forced work or services, slavery or practices which are similar to slavery, particularly in the case of boys and women, and also the removal of organs. Forms of enticement, promises of jobs, education and better living conditions. Recruitment is done in a deceitful or forced way. In the first case, the victim is informed that they'll be taking a trip to work or study. In the second case, parents subject girls to forced marriage and they're paid compensation to survive. Poverty, low level of education, and lots of children orphans because their parents have died of HIV/AIDS, are factors which place victims in a situation of vulnerability and lead them to be victims of enticement. And there's is increasingly acute because of the bad distribution of wealth, where the most people are in a situation of poverty. Let's look at the profile of traffickers. There's no evidence to say that traffickers belong to a network of organized crime, but we know that but in many cases the trafficker is a person who's known or close to the victim. In many cases are actually family members. Social, economic and cultural effects, deprivation of freedom and capability of developing the human potential, infringement of human dignity, which makes this crime particularly serious, psychological trauma linked to the terrible experience in these cases, weaker public health with a major incidence of those involved to HIV/AIDS and other STDs. Regional asymmetries, because traffic of women and children generally occurs in the northern and central areas of the country, directed towards Maputo and South Africa. We have national resolutions to combat human trafficking. For example, resolution number 87 2002 and 11th of December, ratifying the additional protocol to the UN Convention against transnational organized crime relating to prevention and punishment of trafficking of persons, in particular women and children. With regard to climate change and its impact, natural calamities occur because of destruction of our forest. There are cyclical houses are cyclically destroyed because of strong rainfall and the spread of informal habitations, damaging the flora because of unregulated occupation of soil and lack of sewage systems. Here we can see some figures with regard to climate change, inadequate supply of water, and also diarrhea, diseases which produce diarrhea like malaria, and a degradation of road structures because of systematic erosion of soils. Here we can see the situation, the impact. Only very few people have good sewage systems. You can see 37% houses with traditional latrines, houses we don't have latrines 24%, houses with drainage systems 19.4%, houses with improved traditional drainage systems 11.4%, and houses connected to biological treatment pits 7%. We've resettled people in safer areas, but we've also undertaken awareness building campaigns so that people do not build their houses in unsafe places. Also built barriers using simple and cheap techniques in order to contain erosion. We've also dug water in order to supplement the water distribution system. Challenges: construction of a reception center, campaigns to build up awareness among people, developing programs for job creation, and making local population aware of the need to build cisterns in their neighborhoods in order to store rainfall and prevent the erosion of soils. Now, final considerations. Modern slavery and climate change are global problems with a substantial negative impact on our society because of its rapidity, complexity, and cross-cutting nature. Therefore, we are undertaking many efforts in order to improve our world, find a more sustainable way of life in harmony with the environment. The lack of awareness of people with regard to the seriousness of modern slavery is another problem we have to deal with. The municipality, with other structures, has to develop strategies to combat these strategies. And any kind of strategy, any kind of slavery. The cities have to develop structural plans and detailed plans in order to better organize soil use and settlements. Therefore, dear colleagues, mayors present here, we must recognize that we're in the same boat and we're all on the same earth, and any problem which arises in one point has an effect all over the world. We don't need to we should not erect barriers to separate ourselves. We all need to be able to work together to combat the problems of and smuggling of people, also to solve all the environmental problems there are. Thank you.